Good afternoon, James Preston with you on 𝐊𝐿𝐴𝐼𝐴 TV, live from Sydney, and this is the Early Trade Show. Let us cast an eye over how the market charter is panning out for today. Australian shares hit a record high on Thursday, extending gains made from the country's stronger than expected first quarter economic growth data, with high commodity prices lifting the resource-heavy benchmark index even further. Overnight, the US stock market seesawed while global equities markets rallied ahead of a closely watched Federal Reserve report that will glean insights into how companies are coping with rebounding consumer demand. The ASX 200 index climbed 0.7% to reach 7,266 during the early trade session, after having closed 1.1% higher on Wednesday. Notably, sentiment was buoyant from Australia's solid economic growth data, and on Wednesday that showed output had returned to pre-COVID-19 levels. Taking a look at the sectoral charter, the energy and gold indexes jumped on the back of firmer commodity prices. The energy index climbed above 2% to gain the most on the benchmark, and to its highest position since mid-April, as oil prices hit a more than one-year high on OPEC Plus decision, plus to stick with its plan to ease supply cuts through July. West Texas Intermediate crude rose 1.61% to US $68.81 a barrel, while Brent crude was up 1.52% at US $71.32 a barrel on Wednesday. Notably, the energy sector has gained 7.5% for the past 5 days over favourable oil price dynamics. Crude has been gaining ground this week on hopes that the summer driving season in the United States would buoy demand. Original Energy and AGL Energy are leading the pack of ASX 200 gainers. Additionally, natural gas majors Woodside Petroleum and Santos Limited added more than 2% each. Worley Limited, which provides services to oil firms, jumps over 5% to be the top gainer in the sub-index and the benchmark. Fuel refiner Ampol Limited and peer Viva Energy also climbed up. Then, financial stocks followed suit, rising 0.9%, with the big four banks gaining between 0.7% and 1%. Meanwhile, tech stocks tracked the Nasdaq higher to rise 0.6%. And moving on, iron ore miners Fortescue Metals Group and Rio Tinto are trading in green with the mining index, having hit its highest point in 2 weeks as iron ore prices jumped on the hopes of easing production curbs for steel products. On Wednesday, a strong trend in the spot market led prices for steel-making raw materials on China's Dalian Commodity Exchange to jump in order to cope with the prices in the physical market. The most actively traded iron ore futures on the DCE for September month delivery closed 2.8%, up 1,169 yuan, or 182 US dollars and 95 cents per tonne. The futures jumped as much as 4.8% to 1,192 yuan a tonne earlier in the session. Steel and mining and gold stocks also advanced as bullion inched up. On Wednesday, gold prices inched up a little, hovering just below a near 5-month peak hit in the previous session, as US Treasury yields pulled back, while market participants awaited key economic data this week that will shed more light on the outlook for inflation. Red 5 Limited turned out to be the best performer. Well, there's more trending updates to get to, and we'll delve into all of them right after a short break, right here on 𝐊𝐴𝐼𝐴 TV.
Crypto Talk by 𝐊𝐴𝐼𝐴. The crypto market has been red hot, given the Bitcoin rally since the past year. And now the most famous cryptocurrency has got competitors, Dogecoin and Ethereum. If the crypto market excites you, tune in with me, Sage, to know the latest developments about the existing digital currencies and the new ones that are joining the race. I'll help you understand the opportunities and the risks the crypto market has in store for you. For all the digital currency related developments, continue watching Crypto Talk by 𝐊𝐴𝐼𝐴.
Hi there, James Preston with you on 𝐊𝐴𝐼𝐴 TV, live from our studios in Sydney. This is the Early Trade Show, and it's great to have your company. We are shining a lens on the commodity space, and now it's time to take a look at some of the major market movers of the day. Shares of the pathology services provider Australian Clinical Labs skyrocketed on the back of an upgrading earnings forecast. Australian Clinical Labs upgraded its fiscal 2021 net profit after tax guidance by 10% to 15% to between $82 million and $85.4 million. The company also increased its financial year 2021 revenue outlook by 2 to 3% to between $657.7 million and $663.3 million. Also, Matador Mining has hit a 7-month high after buying more land in Canada. The Mineral Explorer says it has increased its land holding in Newfoundland, Canada, by 37% after a strategic review of the ground around the company's Cape Ray Gold project. 2 blocks around the project area have also been acquired. Moving on, shares of Pro Medicus have hit a 1-month high on agreement with the Mayo Clinic. The health imaging technology provider says its unit, Visage Imaging Inc., has signed a multi-year research collaboration agreement with non-profit American Academic Medical Center Mayo Clinic. The company says agreement will serve as the framework for collaboration between the two parties to develop and commercialise in the field of artificial intelligence. Now, it's not quite the Bunnings barbecue, but Sezzle sizzles on its buy now, pay later partnership with Target. The company has entered into a 3-year agreement with the US-based retailer Target Corp. Sezzle says its buy now, pay later product will be available to Target's in-store and digital customers, allowing them to make interest-free payments. From a major US retailer to an Aussie stock, and Australian conglomerate Wesfarmers is trading in the red territory. The company said that its retail businesses were witnessing a robust growth in sales, even as it has now begun to cycle the impact of COVID-19 from the previous year. It further said online growth had moderated as customer traffic to stores had increased and online penetration had reduced but remained above pre-COVID levels. Well, we've got more trending updates to get to, but just before we delve into them, it's time for another quick break here on 𝐊𝐴𝐼𝐴 TV. Please stay with us.
At 𝐊𝐴𝐼𝐴 TV, we'll take you to the heart of the Australian equity market. We'll bring you breakthrough stories that highlight volatility, as well as tailwinds building across the length and breadth of markets. Whether space travel will gain momentum, while economies may gradually open amid vaccine rollouts, our experts will share their timely inputs. So join us on this exciting journey of live streaming, financial and stock market news. 𝐊𝐴𝐼𝐴 TV.
Property by 𝐊𝐴𝐼𝐴. Looking for a dream home? Well, that may sound easy, but it isn't. And from looking for a property that is the right fit for you in terms of cost and other factors, to zeroing down on the right mortgage plan, there are various aspects to consider. And for the latest lowdown on the property market, tune in on 𝐊𝐼𝐴 TV with me, Sage. I will give the latest updates on the property market as well as real estate stocks to help you make the right decision. Keep watching Property with 𝐊𝐴𝐼𝐴.
Good afternoon, I'm James Preston and this is the Early Trade Show live from Sydney on 𝐊𝐼𝐴 TV, and we're taking a close look at the ASX listed trending stocks. Let's have a look at the next stock. Global lithium company Galaxy Resources edged lower despite upgrading its production guidance for the full year. The miner shipped 33,500 wet metric tonnes in May, and pricing for the third quarter scheduled shipment was expected to surpass US $750 per tonne. Given the sustained high production rate, Galaxy's full-year guidance has now increased to 195,000, all the way up to 210,000 dry metric tonnes, which is up from the previous range of between 185,000 to 200,000 dry metric tonnes. Another major update is that Australian-based regenerative medicine company Mesoblast revenue has unfortunately dipped. The revenue fell in the first quarter from the previous year, down 84.3% to US $1.92 million. The result was primarily due to a lack of milestone revenue. Moving on, PainCheck Limited soared on reaching 127,000 licensed residential aged care approved beds. Notably, PainCheck is the world's first app that uses AI and smartphone technology to assess pain in people with Alzheimer's and dementia. And just before we wrap up, let's take a look at some key events that may chart out the market direction. First up, market participants are closely eyeing data releases on the US initial jobless claims and Market Services and Composite Purchasing Managers Index for May. Also, Eurozone's Market Services and Composite PMI for May, Japan's Jibun Bank Services and Composite PMI for May, and China's Caixin Services and Composite PMI for May are also key events that market participants will be looking out for. And lastly, ahead of Friday's important US jobs data, market participants are eagerly aiming to assess what the increasing evidence of a faster than expected economic recovery would mean for the central bank's policy in the country. All right then, that's all for now. Stay tuned with 𝐊𝐿𝐴𝐚 TV for more live market updates. We'll be back with more news on markets, economy and diverse themes and sectors shortly. I'm James Preston for 𝐊𝐿𝐴𝐚 TV.